talk about the Great Reset. We've heard about Nasara and Gasara for a while, and I thought today I would approach that topic to see what kind of things would come through and what answers we could get. So before I get started, please go and hit the like button. Helps me out, and it's helping me fight through all of this censorship, helping me be recognized a little more through my different platforms. Okay, so question, big question. If and when is this reset going to happen? Signs are everywhere. So when I first tuned into this, I saw an image of a ton of news articles, and it looked like they were flashing in front of me, kind of like I was watching a TV show, and I just kept seeing news article after news article with different headlines. And I relate this to the visual I would explain it or relate it to is a website. When you pull up a website on a web page and you see the pop-ups keep going up, that's what it felt like to me. And these articles would say things like gas prices at an all-time high, silver drops, stock market at a low, food prices on the rise, food shortage, supply chains are compromised, workforce is in crisis with fewer people willing to go to work. And I was like, I just kept seeing this snapshot after snapshot of our world and the emerging headline article after headline article. And to be honest, there was so many of them that I was trying to remember what I could to be able to note it for this post itself. I'm sure there was other ones that popped up that I just couldn't even recognize or be able to acknowledge that fast. So regardless, I saw all these articles, all these headlines that kept popping up. And in thinking on this, I get that every item of concern, everything that I saw could be mitigated in some way, but the government intentionally wants to crash our current system. And I'll get to why in a little bit. Many times, for something new to form, an old thing, an idea, a thought, a culture, it has to be destroyed. So that's what they're doing. Good and bad systems are created in this way, and the government has been good at playing this long game, but they're ramping up their efforts to get what they want. It's almost like time's up, and they know they need to get this stuff passed through if they're ever going to get this agenda to really go in full effect here. They could open up this pipeline to make a better deal. We know that they could do that. They could quit manipulating the stock market and precious metals, so they're manipulating the metals so they can buy and hoard them themselves. They could leave the weather and the food alone. They could quit the fear. They could encourage a more healthy workforce instead. It's the propaganda. It's entitlement. It's the false narratives. They keep doing these things to keep us further divided rather than coming together. And they know what they're doing. When I focus on the state of things and what is going on, I do not see it changing soon. And I get they're going to use the above things that I outlined to crash it and bring in Nasara or some weird version of it. I don't think it's going to be fair for everyone, though. It's not like they're going to wipe the slate clean for everyone and say, hey, we're going to start fresh and you're going to get this stuff. What they're going to do is they're going to take from the earners and they're going to redistribute it to everyone else and issue some basic income card. And this card's going to be electronic, like a credit card, and they're going to know what you buy, when you buy it, and from who. Hence the control. Hence why do they want to crash it? Because they can control you even more by doing so. It is further control, and if you don't comply, your card's going to get locked. Since that a social credit score is also going to be tied to this as well. So watch out for that, or watch out to be hearing more about that and how they're going to actually implement that or what that even is. I get by the end of this year, they're going to start the transition, and we're going to see little glimpses of it, but they're smart. They don't do it all at once. They do it like a frog in a boiling pot of water. They issue little by little, and then before you know it, you're like, how in the world did that happen? How do we let that happen? Because they are smart and they know that they have to do this slow. But we're really going to see it more so in 2023. They're going to sell it as a basic standard income, but in reality, they're just trying to enslave us into their system in a different way. So how do we break free? Because that's really the root question. I focus on this and I think about it, and it's like, how do we avoid it? How do we break free? We have to do what we can to get out of the system. You got to grow your own food. If you need to network with your neighbors, if you need to learn a barter, a trade, now is the time to do it while you still can. Anything you can do now is just going to help you later. Maybe you can't 100% avoid it, but you can do what you can to minimize the effects. Even small things can really make a big difference. So just be mindful of that. It's not to live in fear. It's not to live in paranoia. Just be thinking, what can I do? Maybe you can clean stuff out. Maybe you can simplify your life. Maybe you can learn how to store some food. Maybe you can grow food in buckets on your back porch. Whatever you can do really can make a difference later on. It's just one step to give you a little more independence. Feel like you have a little autonomy from all this. So, having said all that, if anybody else has any great words of advice, anything they can think of, things to help or do, by all means, drop a line in the comments. And if you want to reach out to me, you can find me at my blog at www.psychicfocus.blogspot.com. Thank you. Bye.